What's up, guys? We have a deck profile from a accurate character duel of Yugi and Kaiba. Jake here. Tell us a little bit about how you came to build this deck, and what inspired you to do it, and how you kind of worked it out and sort of made it into an actual playable thing.
Yeah, well, I always was a big fan of the original anime, and I keep up with the modern game. I play in the modern meta, so I've been very familiar with FTKs, Thunder Dragons, and all modern shenanigans. So I thought, because I remember the game when I played it younger, I enjoyed it when it was kind of slower, more basic, more turn-based. I thought I'd build decks from that time. So I combined that with my liking of the anime, and that's how I ended up with character decks.
Okay, cool. All right, let's take a look at your first list here. So this is Yugi.
Yes. This is Yami Yugi. I based it off the Battle City arc, because if I based it off every season, it'd be a 100-card deck. So, first of all, we of course have to start with Dark Magician.
Just turn the cards around.
Dark Magician.
Yep.
Not much I can say about this, other than best strategy is to summon it with no cards on the field and attack your opponent directly. We then of course have Dark Magician Girl. Goes alongside Dark Magician. One of the easier cards for Yugi to get out, being a single tribute. Yugi can brick quite a lot, especially if you don't have any Heart of the cards. We then have of course Slife of a Sky Dragon. I use the illegal version, so I can remind people of the effects that wasn't printed on the card.
There you go.
Summon Skull, one of the most broken cards of 2002, I believe it was.
Yep.
Better than Dark Magician in every way, but Dark Magician's got to be the key card. Buster Blader. Makes Kaiba very sad when you summon it, whilst he has all his dragons engraved. Then we have Swift Guy of a Fierce Knight. Now this card's quite nice for Yugi because you can summon it whilst you can control no other cards in your hand. So last card in hand, you can simply normal summon it, which is pretty good for Yugi. It gets out a nice beater for him, assuming you haven't bricked with all the other beaters you can't summon. Archfiend of Gilfa. This is quite a nice card because if it's sent to the grave in any way, equips to an opponent's monster, decreases its attack by 500. Even if it leaves the field whilst as an equipped card, it can re-equip to another monster. So this thing can stick around on the field and annoy the opponent for quite a large amount of time. We then have Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, the Magnet Warrior. Three nice vanillas. Yugi doesn't actually play that many level 4 or lower monsters, so you need these for tribute fodder. And the summon of Valkyrian, which isn't in this deck, hence why I say 95% accurate anime deck. Then we have Electromagnetic Turtle, a card Yugi played, can save you in the battle step. Saw some playing lights once not so long ago. As long as it's sent to grave, you can banish it and end a battle phase. Stops you being OTK'd by Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and a defusion. Then we have Gazelle, King of Mythical Beasts, another bad level 4. Yugi kind of plays a lot of those. And Beformet, a bad tribute monster, but such as this bad level 4. However, there's a slight combo there, and we'll get to that in a bit. Another combo is, of course, Jack's Knight, Queen Knight, and King's Knight. So the way this works is if you have Queen's Knight already on field, you can summon King's Knight, normal summon it, and special summon a Jack's Knight from your deck. And from there, you can link summon. No, you can't link summon. And from there, you ideally have tribute fodder for Slife of a Sky Dragon. This is what they were made for, but King's Knight needs a normal summon to activate its effect, so they need to survive another turn as well. Then have Big Shield Gardener. Very good defensive monster if your opponent only has a single card, because as soon as it's attacked, once in defense position, it goes to attack. But it can save you for a single turn and be used as tribute fodder later on in the duel, so that's quite nice for Yugi. We also have Breaker, the Magical Warrior. This is one of his best level 4s. Becomes 1900 when you summon it, gains a counter. You can then use a counter to destroy an opponent's card and maybe an opposing source of Revealing Light. Get rid of some key back row. We then have an Obnoxious Celtic Guard. Now this card can save your life quite easily. It can't be destroyed with monsters with more than 1900 attack. So you simply put this in defense mode and all of Kaiba's Blue Eyes White Dragons can't do anything to it. We then have Kribo, one of the first ever hand trap I think the first hand trap actually. Not quite as good as Ash and Ogre, but it stops you from taking damage, so that's a plus. Comes in useful if you're ever in time. Exchange. This is good. Just make sure not to take Silver or Kalkos from your opponent if you're playing as Yugi. And yeah, it can also be used to take an opponent's card. Probably a much better one, considering you're playing this deck. Magic Formula. This is an equipped spell that can only equip to Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, and it gains 700 attack. And if it's sent from the field to the grave, you gain 1,000 life points. And ironically, this card is better used by Magical Hats, which we'll see later, because you simply set this to the field, your opponent attacks it, and that's a free 1,000 life points. So that's the best purpose for this card. Then have a card destruction, which is now legal for some reason. No dangers, so we can't really pass off of it. The main use for this in Yugi's deck is to get rid of all the bricks you'll inevitably draw, like Buster Blader, Dark Magician, and so on. We then have Soul Taker. Stops Yang Zings getting an effect, because it makes him miss a timing, so that's quite nice. Gives your opponent 1,000 life points, so I'd side this out, game 2, if it's near time. But yeah, overall, good card. Then we have the classic, Swords of Revealing Light. Stops your opponent for attacking for 3 turns. The original printing, and maybe even the modern one, doesn't say continuous spell, because I'm not sure they really knew what that meant back in the day. But yeah, this is a good defensive card. Mystic Box. You give one of your monsters to your opponent, so you can destroy one of your opponent's monsters. So this is good for outing monsters. You can give your opponent a bad card, like Karibo, for example. Card of Sanctity. When I play this deck, I treat it as having the anime effect, which is absolutely broken. So, unlike the written effect, instead of banishing all cards you control and drawing 2, we play with the anime effect, where both players draw until they have 6 cards. Understandable why Konami didn't print that card as it was in the anime. Premature Burial. Monster Reborn, but you have to pay for it, essentially. Good card. Polymerization. This will be useful for the fusions we'll get to see later. Monster Reborn, another card. It's fairly fresh off the list. Nice to have this around. Just need Pot of Greed and a couple of other cards coming off the forbidden list, and this deck will be legal in the TCG meta. Pot of Greed. Insert obvious joke here. Brain Control. Not as good as it once was because of the errata, but Yugi don't care about erratas. He just plays it as this originally was. Takes control of an opponent's monster. Magical Hats. Mentioned the combo earlier. You can set a magic formula from your deck, gain 1,000 life points whenever it goes sent to grave. Can protect a monster too, of course. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Old version Wiretap. You can stop a Mirror Force. You can stop an interdimensional matter transporter. Not sure why I gave that example, that's random, but stops trap cards. Pretty good. Stops you being evenly matched. Spellbinding Circle. Ye Old Fiendish Chain. Simply stops a monster from attacking, doesn't negate its effects, but pretty good. Fun fact, this is the card that keeps Exodia in its place and the TCG artwork, so could argue that if your opponent has all 5 pieces, just flip Spellbinding Circle, it's resealed. Might be worth a shot. Dust Tornado. Because MST was banlist worthy back in the day, they needed a substitute, and Dust Tornado was one of the best cards for that. Destroys a spell of trap. Mirror Force, one of Yugi's better cards. Destroys all your opponent's monsters, and they don't stand much of a chance. Then we have Light Force Sword. So this is best used when your opponent is about to summon a god card. You activate this, banish a random card in their hand for 4 turns, and then they can't summon a god card and they get really sad and angry. So that's what this card is for. Magic Cylinder, so you can win games out of nowhere. Your opponent gets Beaver Warrior to 10,000 plus attack. Just flip this and you win. And then Mystical Ref Panel. I think the only card it says mentions targeting of an opponent. Many strange rulings with this, but mainly steals an opponent's spell effect, and you become a very happy person. Opponent activates Pot of Greed, activate this, you get to draw 2 instead. So pretty good card. And that's my Yugi deck list for Battle City.
Does it have an extra deck?
That's a very good point. It does have an extra deck, but it seems to have disappeared. Thank you. He does, in fact, have an extra deck. First of all, I play Arcana Knight Joker. Now this card is the fusion of all the three Poker Knights. So as another combo, you summon King's Knight, once you've got Queen's Knight you get all three, then you activate Polymerization, and you get a big beat stick with a bad protection effect. The combination of Dark Magician and Buster Blader. This card will make Kaiba cry even more than he already was when Buster Blader hits the field. Can negate spells, gauge attack based on dragons. Pretty good card. And then we have Gazelle, King of Mythical Beast. No, this is its Fusion Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast. Just a slightly bigger beat stick than the two combined, and it revives Gazelle from your grave when it's destroyed. For which use, I don't know, but you might find one. And that is Yugi's deck profile.
Okay, so that's the Yugi's one.
Yes.
Which one would you say is the best of the character ones you've made so far?
Out of all the character decks I made so far,
Yeah.
I would say probably Kaiba, because even though he uses a few janky cards, he gets out his beat sticks much easier than the other character decks, and he has some really powerful traps like Crush Card Virus, which is pretty nice.
Alright, awesome. Well guys, that's the Yugi character deck for this segment. Thanks everyone for watching, and thank you for showing us this.
Thanks.